Anyone who has watched anime before has experienced this. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You have the main character and his friends. The main character is a powerful fighter who people can depend on. You look at his friends with high expectations that they will be dependable like the main character. You pick a friend of the main character and look forward to seeing what they do in the future, only for that character to fail over and over again. It becomes apparent that the main character's friends are unable to pull their weight in any situation, and only serve as fodder to make the main character look more impressive. When I think about these types of characters, I think of most of the Z fighters in Dragon Ball Z, Ichigo's friends in Bleach, and Naruto's friends in Naruto. Yet somehow, the Straw Hat Pirates are different. Why is that? In this video, I will explain what makes the Straw Hat Pirates the most unique friend characters in Shounen. The way One Piece is structured is different from most other Shounen. In most Shounen, the main character and his friends may live in the same town or village, but they never really interact with one another. In these series, we are told that characters are friends without really seeing the friendship. The main character's friends only come together to face a threat and disappear after the threat is defeated. One Piece is different in that it has the pirate crew dynamic. With this dynamic, the main cast of characters are able to interact with one another naturally and on a regular basis. This dynamic shows us, the viewer, the bonds between the Straw Hats, and we can feel that they are truly friends. Luffy and Usopp feel like best friends. Zoro and Sanji are similar to brothers that argue all the time. Nami and Robin are similar to sisters. Chopper feels like a gullible younger brother to the rest of the crew, and so on. The Straw Hat crew also have dreams. They are not together just because they are friends. They are together to pursue their own dreams alongside one another. This gives us, the viewer, a reason to follow these characters, and gives the characters their own goals to work towards. At the end of the day, One Piece is still a shonen, and combat plays a large part in it. Even in this area, Oda keeps the Straw Hats unique. Each member is given their own unique fighting style to further diversify them from one another. Luffy stretches, Zoro is a three-sword wielding swordsman, Nami manipulates the weather, Usopp snipes at long range, and Sanji fights by exclusively kicking. In most shonen, we are only given a small group of opponents for our main cast to fight against. In One Piece, it is always faction versus faction. The Straw Hats versus Baroque Works, or the Straw Hats versus CP9 as examples. Oda gives the Straw Hats an opposing faction of varying power levels, so that every Straw Hat has a chance to shine. Every crewmate does not need to be as strong as Luffy, Zoro, or Sanji. They just need to be stronger than their opponents. Where one crewmate may not have the power to defeat their opponent, another can take their place. Where one crewmate may not have the right skills for a situation, another crewmate will. This gives every crewmate a way of contributing to their overall success. This ensures that no matter how strong a Straw Hat is or isn't, they can always contribute to victory. Sure, Luffy can defeat every enemy his crewmates face, but that defeats the purpose of having a crew in the first place. A great example of this in another series are the Z Fighters versus Vegeta and Nappa in Dragon Ball Z. Here, Goku's friends attempt to fight Nappa, but they are defeated, and they are forced to wait on Goku to save the day. To put that into context, the Z Fighters trained for an entire year to defeat Vegeta and Nappa, and when the time finally came for them to fight Vegeta and Nappa, they failed miserably. Goku was forced to defeat Nappa and then fight Vegeta. This makes the Z Fighters appear even less reliable in the eyes of the viewer. Or we can look at Ichigo's friends fighting the Espada in Bleach. Ichigo's friends are either unable to defeat their opponents, or they are defeated and left helpless. In the end, all of Ichigo's friends need to be rescued by the captains. Or when Pain invaded the Hidden Leaf village. Not many of Naruto's friends were able to face any of the Pains, and even when a Pain was defeated, it didn't matter in the long run. The entire village is forced to wait for Naruto to come to their rescue. It did not matter how many of Naruto's friends were in the village at the time, because none of them were able to contribute to defeating Pain. In these situations, there is no other way for a character to prove their worth other than defeating the enemy. The pirate crew dynamic shines through even outside of combat. Each crewmate has a skill set that is helpful if not essential for the crew to make progress in general. If they need to get from one island to another, they depend on Nami. If someone is sick or injured, they depend on Chopper. If the Thousand Sunny is in need of repairs, they depend on Frankie. Oda is careful and makes sure no two Straw Hats have the same skill set. No one in the crew can navigate like Nami. No one in the crew can cook like Sanji. No one in the crew can lie like Usopp. Oda also made it a point at the beginning of the series to have Luffy state that he cannot use swords, he cannot navigate, he cannot lie, and he cannot cook. This tells the viewer that Luffy needs his crewmates to aid him on their journey. In so many shonen series, combat is the only focus, which hinders many of the main characters' friends. A great example of this is in Naruto near the end of Shippuden. Spoilers for Naruto Shippuden ahead. Near the end of Naruto Shippuden, Naruto invalidates most of his friends' abilities. He is the best overall combatant, invalidating characters like Neji, Rock Lee, and Choji. He is a better sensory type ninja, invalidating Shino's insects, Hinata's Byakugan, and Kiba's sense of smell. He even becomes a better healer than Sakura and Ino, being able to give Kakashi a new eye and save Might Guy even after he uses the 8th Gate of Death. This does not happen with Luffy and the Straw Hats. Each member has a role to play and a skill only they can use. This is made apparent by each member of the crew having a designated position on the crew. Cook, Doctor, Shipwright, Navigator, and Helmsman to name a few. Oda also utilizes birdcage-like elements in most arcs to keep the Straw Hats engaged, whilst Luffy faces off against the big bad of the arc. The Buster Call at Enies Lobby, the Sun in Thriller Bark, the Shinokuni on Punk Hazard, and the infamous birdcage in Dressrosa to name a few. This gives the crew a secondary goal after their fights have concluded. Earlier I touched on the idea of the Straw Hats having dreams or goals that they are actively working towards. This was an important and genius decision by Oda. Just by giving the Straw Hats dreams, he has set them apart from many other characters in this genre. All too often the main character's friends have no goals of their own. There is nothing to drive these characters and makes the characters feel shallow. Without goals, it is harder to measure these characters' progress outside of just combat prowess. When you look at the Straw Hats, this is not the case. Every island they visit helps Nami's map of the world. Every poneglyph that Robin reads helps her uncover the information on the Void Century. Every mile the Thousand Sunny sails brings you closer to traversing the world and becoming Frankie's dream ship. Through the use of dreams, we are invested in the Straw Hats. We as the viewer want to see how close Zoro is to becoming the world's strongest swordsman. We want to see Robin uncover the truth about the Void Century. We want to see Usopp become a brave warrior of the sea. The Straw Hats are a unique group of characters not just within Shounen, but within fiction in general. The Straw Hats succeed where other characters fail, because they are allowed to succeed. They are not conformed to just being combatants. They are allowed to use their unique skills in and out of combat to showcase their individual utility. Oda has found a way of making the main cast of characters unique, through the clever use of the pirate crew dynamic, and through the simple act of giving them dreams. What do you guys think? Are the Straw Hats really unique, or am I overselling it? Are there any other groups you can think of as unique as the Straw Hats? Let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or a dislike if you didn't, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future.